7 psychological facts about human behavior that will blow your mind. Even though every mind is different, there are certain similarities in how people behave. Even at times, it seems as though we are mirroring each other. And given this, it's only natural to wonder why. Are you curious to find out? Here are 7 shocking psychological facts about human behavior that could help you understand yourself better and improve your ability to read people. You definitely don't want to miss this, so stay tuned. Number 7. Humans mostly remember negative things first. Have you ever wondered why people put so much hard work into staying positive? Why do people take a moment each day to list 5 things to be grateful for? Well, the answer is simple. The human mind chooses to remember negative things first and then dwell on them. It's called the negativity bias. And that's why unpleasant memories are so hard to forget. You are more likely to remember the day someone ignored you or hurt your feelings more easily than good interactions with that person. For several debatable reasons, it seems the human mind is engineered to hold on to bad memories tighter. So don't blame yourself too much for the negativity in your life, and try as much as possible to not let it overwhelm you. One hack that works is to keep a gratitude journal that could help you focus on your positive experiences and bring your memories towards more of a balance. Number 6. Opposites don't attract until their poles are similar. The saying, opposites attract, is a saying we hear a lot, but is it right? Think about the interactions in your daily life. You are more likely to bond with people that you share similarities with than someone who is your polar opposite. Of course, there are exceptions, but it's more likely for birds of a feather to flock together. You attract people who are just like you, and not the other way around. The longest standing relationships are relationships built on common values, regardless of whether it is work or academically inclined. It's basic human behavior to be with people that are like you, and that's why people tend to form groups and communities. One way to use this to your advantage is to reflect and find out who you really are and who you really want to be. Once you're yourself, working towards your better version, people with similar energies are likely to gravitate toward you, and you're likely to find people who are opposite drifting away as well. Number 5. Our perception of stress could be the stressor. In an infamous TED Talk by health psychologist Kelly McGonigal in 2013, she admitted to teaching her patients the wrong thing for the last 10 years. She had been teaching about the dangers of stress, but in that talk, she backtracked her words by saying stress is not harmful. This was supported by an 8-year-long research study conducted in the United States concerning 30,000 adults. In the study, it was discovered that people who experienced high stress levels and who believed it was harmful increased their risk of death by 43%. But the people who experienced high stress but didn't view it as harmful were less likely to die. With this research, we can see stress is not the enemy. It's the way that you view the stress that counts. It is so important because according to the research, the way you view stress can either shorten or lengthen your lifespan. Number 4. Publicly announcing our goals may be counterproductive. This is so mind-blowing because it is contrary to what is peddled by the mainstream media. Oftentimes, you're encouraged to write down your goals or post them on your social media pages, like a New Year's resolution. People say to tell your friends, so then they hold you accountable for it. But studies reveal that it could behaviorally hamper your ability to achieve your goal in the long run. In a 2010 TED Talk by Derek Sievers, he explained how publicly announcing your goals reduces the success rate by 50%. When you announce your goal to people who validate it, you tend to feel immense satisfaction. The mind then interprets that satisfaction as actually accomplishing the goal. Research from as far back as 1926 has backed this up. In 2009, Peter Gulwitzer experimented with this. In his experiment, he worked with 163 people with whom he gave a common goal. Half of these people told others about their goals, and half didn't. What happened afterwards? You guessed it right. The people who kept their mouths shut reached their goals first and even felt like they had put in more work. So you should just think again before your next #NewYearNewMe post. Number 3. Having multiple options ruins our chances of making one thing work. While having a plan B is a good thing, you're more likely to succeed if you focus all your efforts on one thing rather than dividing it into various things. That is how the human mind works. For example, if you knew you could always be financially stable, even without a degree, you'd be less motivated to get one. You might even drop out at some point because you'd be lackluster towards it. This does not necessarily mean you shouldn't multitask and have many goals, but it is advisable to be realistic in your plans and manage your time. Choose the important things and pursue them wholeheartedly so you maximize your full potential at whatever you do. Number 2, retail therapy is real. You may think people who spend almost all their money on clothes are crazy or interpret it as a lack of self-control, but there is a good reason why, and you shouldn't be so quick to dismiss it. How we dress is connected to our mood and emotions. If you dress in a way that makes you feel confident, you automatically feel happy. If you wear designer brands or trendy fashion, you could feel great and even more confident. A big plus is when people notice and compliment you, and you feel even happier. It's no wonder shabby dressing is connected to bad moods. When you see a shakily dressed person, the brain interprets them as depressed or sad. This is, of course, not encouraging you to mindlessly splurge anytime you're down, but you could set aside certain amounts of money for doing things that make you happy, which might not necessarily be clothes, but just things that make you happy in general. Number 1. If it's hard to get, it's more desirable to get. Hard to get is a phrase used all the time, in relationships, in work, and even in sales. There's a reason that designer brands and upscale products get more revenue than our daily used products. If there's a limited edition of a product, demand goes up and prices go even higher. The human mind is wired to want things that aren't easy to get. That's why a lot of people aspire to wealth, power, and fame. If those 3 things were easy to come by, they wouldn't be as desirable as they are now. One way to channel this human behavior to your advantage is to create an air of mystique about whatever you have of value that you want other people to be interested in. By creating an atmosphere of more, you draw others in, and people will work harder to be rewarded with a positive consequence. People enjoy the thrilling feeling of uncertainty, and attempting to obtain something challenging brings out that feeling. Do you know any other amazing psychological facts about humans and positive ways to channel this knowledge? Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.